bust it.
We can't start a stream like that. I need to start to streamo. I need it. Don't be weird.
Elder Streamo.
Yes. Welcome to another spicy Sunday. Boy, Kid Commit, what up? This beat is from Grits and Gravy.
Grits and Gravy. Never heard that. That no key fire. That key flat.
We'll do it live! Fuck it! Quit playing! Quit playing! Quit playing! Y'all just don't want to believe the truth! I'm just telling the truth. Use your common sense! No. We'll do it live! No. We'll do it live! No. We'll do it live! Fuck it!
Ahorita, güey. Hey.
Y'all just don't want to believe the truth.
Oh. Got another beat. Got another John. Okay. Hey. I can post Peter 9 in there. Hey, where's up? Ronnie's in the building. Hey.
It's a spicy.
I'm just telling the truth.
I'm
just telling the truth. No. We'll do it live. Fuck it.
Apex, Modern DNA, Jayon, Rumathy, what up? B-Dub, what up?
We playing Madden today. Hey, what Cap talking about?
No. We'll do it live. Fuck it.
Ain't no thing but the chicken with Modern DNA. Quarter piece with no meat. Actually,
What's up, TB Anderson, Illinois? MC 909 in the building. They want to know if we're really about to talk about Popeyes versus Chic Fil A.
I can't. Just butter, red, brown. Who got the best chicken sandwiches? Robert August. They blocked your sentence for saying white people. How come we can't type white people on YouTube? That's interesting.
That's crazy.
Censor.
That's crazy.
What's
Whoa, I'm not in my fucking... well, I'll get that back. What's up, everybody? It's CMP with CraftMaster Productions and Studio1Tutorials.com. Don't forget to stop by Studio One Tutorials and get yourself a copy of Secret Stash. It is Pablo Escobar's personal lo-fi drum kit. It comes with 3 hashtag folders, 1 with hashtag loops, 2 with a hashtag lo-fi drum kit, and the 3rd folder is a hashtag trap lo-fi drum kit. It is spicy. It is delicious. It is $29.99. MG the Future, please tell them what you're about.
Hey, it's MG. You already know what I'm about, man. I ain't got nothing to plug in this week, but I'm working on some things in the underground. It's going to be an interesting fall. I should put it to you like. But for now, we got chicken sandwiches.
Hey, so how was your Popeyes chicken sandwich experience, sir?
It depends. You know, I'm more of a KFC Chicken Little type of guy. So, I think I'm happy to see that everyone quickly reconciled their differences and stances and social justice issues to partake in the feast of chicken sandwiches and watermelon drinks, just as expected and predicted. And now, I hope everyone feels quite goofy about that, and we can move on to bigger and better things. Because it wasn't chicken sandwiches, and it sure as hell wasn't music this week. So, what's going on?
Was it really watermelon drinks?
I mean, I've seen things.
Was that what we were out there doing?
I've seen things. I've seen watermelon fast, and at that point, I realized the Matrix ain't talking to me no more.
Nah, bro, somebody came through with a watermelon fast
in the health group. Yeah, same time the chicken sandwiches were going viral, people were talking about watermelon fast. So
that's not real. That's not a real thing.
Only real.
That did not happen, bro.
You will see it.
Oh my god, life is amazing, bro. What a time to be here. All right.
Antonio says it was $25 million equity in free advertising. So $25 million in ads to get the same amount of tick on social medias.
Oh, we got one of those guys in the building. Is Antonio mad? Is Antonio mad that the black community has given Popeyes free advertisements? Do we got members of that camp in the chat today?
I'm a member of that camp every day, but I understand. Anything viral, you just put it on the backs of black people, they'll make it hot. I just don't like the way it was positioned, though. I kind of feel like it wasn't organic at all. I kind of feel like it was. NFL uses chicken sandwich. It's highly effective. There's a there, bro. There's a deeper and darker twist on that one, man. Because it came out of nowhere.
It did come out of nowhere in the sense that, Popeyes didn't do a radio single for their chicken sandwich. I mean, how do you do a warm up for your chicken sandwich? Like, do you do press release that say, hey, we're working on some 12 herbs and spices that we might do on our chicken sandwich? Or
their commercial dropped in December of 2018.
For what?
For the Popeyes chicken sandwich. Dropped December 2018 with 13,000 views.
How long has it been out?
Since December 2018.
Really?
Well, here's the thing. This is why I know it's weird. So if you go to YouTube and you look up Popeyes chicken sandwich advertisement or commercial, they have the commercial with the black lady, of course, with butter biscuits, watermelon cider, and some pickles that taste like chicken. If you really think about it, I think the pickles are the best part of the chicken sandwich, by the way. And it didn't get no tick or traction. And it had so many few views. That Popeyes wasn't running social ads on it. So it kind of came and went. And I guess this is what they call a test run, where, they probably just introduced it to particular Popeyes markets. That's why we haven't heard of it. However, when it started trending on Twitter, the next day it was nationwide, right? So it started trending somehow, which is what I call bullshit on. And then every Popeyes had it available.
Wait. You call bullshit on, you mean that it didn't organically trend on Twitter? It was put in the trending box by Twitter via compensation to Twitter.
Well, think about it.
Okay.
If you have a launch, right, and you don't announce it to all your markets, and you don't have no commercials, no radio ads, how would you have ordered enough supplies? How would you have known it was going to do those kind of numbers? Think about it. Like if you invite people to an event or to a party and you don't have a head count, how do you get the venue? Or if you do anything that you have to pre-plan for, how do you have the chicken sandwiches made? How does your staff know how to make them already? You know, there's a lot of things that go into, even though we're talking about fast food restaurants here, but still, you can't just have boxes of chicken just sitting there, especially in markets that never made them before. So the first night, cars are wrapped around Popeyes places. The next day, cars are wrapped around. Today, I got pictures in my local area, cars are wrapped around Popeyes. So they have had to killed enough chickens and breaded enough chicken to be ready for this onslaught. So do you do that the day of Twitter going viral, or do you plan that months in advance? So, you know.
Plan.
Yeah.
Use your common sense.
So you take a couple of black people talking about chicken and watermelon, you retweet it a few times, and you put some money behind it. You probably didn't even put money in behind it. I think Twitter's so slick, they probably put it in our timelines as not a sponsored ad. And that's why everyone's in trouble right now. That's why everyone's dropping jewels on Google and all these Analytica companies and now, you know, the good old boys. So it's an interesting time that we live in. And unfortunately, you know, Boondocks was right. So I'm going to keep it moving, though. I'm not going to beat up nobody about it.
It's interesting, though. What do you mean the Boondocks was right?
Remember the Boondocks has a whole episode about this chicken sandwich and people lining up and fighting and
No. I remember it, but not everybody was outside in 2006 watching that shit. Let's talk about it.
No one was outside with Boondocks and Dave Chappelle that was running the entertainment industry for that 6 months, it's felt like. Yeah, the Boondocks is on his Simpson bag when it comes to black issues. It's very interesting that it was able to illustrate how obnoxious we can be socially when it comes to this type of media and marketing. But it was just funny. You should watch it. Just search for Boondocks chicken episode, and it'll come up if you haven't seen it on Twitter already. It's a funny episode. It's just sad that it's true, though.
they're all funny episodes. The Boondocks was. I remember during that time watching. I mean, shit. I remember reading the comic strip. Right, you remember it was a comic strip in the paper before it even came out with a cartoon. Then when I see it was live action, I was like, "Yo, this is gonna be crazy." And that, like, dude, that show, there's nothing that they didn't go after that didn't wind up coming to fruition, within 8 to 10 years, from the Gangstalicious stuff to the kid dressing in the skirt and and carrying the purse. Like, that's like, dude, it's crazy, bro. Like these guys are really walking around with purses, right. just like they said. And it's it makes you wonder, like, when you get into the whole, like, all right, so they put that on Twitter and push the button on it. It kind of makes you think, like, was the Boondocks part of the button too? Yeah. You know what I mean? Was that why him and Dave Chappelle, like they got too deep in it and they were like, oh shit, we're part of the button too, bro. Like, nah, I'm good. It kind of makes me wonder, like what is it gonna look like when it comes back on TV? Like, are we just gonna do punchlines and one-liners, or are we gonna go back into back into our profit bag? It's gonna be interesting to see.
Depends on who's writing it. If the person writing it is a spiritual person, it'll always come to pass. And I think a lot of what we miss in music, especially music, but maybe even like great movies even, is the ability for the writer or the people who are collaborating to be able to reach out into the future and bring it back, especially like poets and stuff. Like it's not a coincidence at this point when every facet of media has someone or a few people who are able to see the future and describe it clearly and then illustrate that through their art form. I think Aaron McGruder is no different, because he's had that experience through the strips. And I said this maybe a few months ago, man. I shared this Aaron McGruder interview on in the Discord a few months ago, and he was like 20-something years old. He wasn't even old yet. and the guy was interviewing him for a while, and I was just listening to him answer, and he was alluding to the fact that Boondocks was going to be a cartoon before it was a cartoon, and he was very clear on what his vision was. Like, he knew what he was going to do, and he just gave you this encouragement for like, basically it was one of those stories where people told him he couldn't do it, or he had like a hard time getting to the level he wanted to be at, but he did it anyway because he stuck to his guns. Anyone assembled like that mentally, it just happens, bro. That goes for our greatest rappers. That goes for the people who make our movies, like the sister who wrote both Matrix movies and the Terminator, the first two Terminators.
Yeah.
Like all of that. Like, it's all from a different place. It's not from mind. It's not from analyzation.
It's
It's
from
from
the river.
intuition. It's from the river, bro. So, I mean, if they allow him to get into the river, we'll see more of it. But even with like the, them announcing the Matrix 4, I was like, I'm excited that there's a continuation, but I'm not excited if she didn't write it, because it's not going to be in the river. It's going to be about Neo taking the form of a woman or something. And, they're going to try to sensate the shit. And I don't like that. Like, I don't like that being the narrative, because of the producers having their own social issues. That takes away from the canon of the story, though. It's going to be weird. I don't like that. I don't like the prospects of that. It's not from the river at all.
Yeah, the Matrix 4 is finna be whack. I can already tell you, bro. Like, that shit is not gonna be bueno. Unless it is. But this week, our guy Langston with Handsome Audio launched his store on reverb.com. So everybody who was talking about like, yo, I would buy a Zulu if there was a payment plan, if there was some kind of discount, reverb.com has has financing through, I forget who it's through, but it's financing through I mean, it's the same people who do the financing on StockX. So if you guys are buying, if you guys are financing your aftermarket Yeezys, you could spend some money with our boy Langston and finance his wonderful piece of passive hardware, the Handsome Audio Zulu. Go and get you one. I'm excited to see. I'm excited to see that because I think it means that more people are going to go ahead and make the investment. For $800 is a big, it's a big amount to drop. That's some young people's rent.
Yes.
but to be able to break it up in payments, that's really nice, man.
You can sauce up some loops, man, and give them away for free on Reddit. Worst case scenario.
Hey.
Hey. I see Freddie Icy out there, Germany out there making waves on the Reddit forums with his drum kits. So anything is possible, bro.
Facts, bro. So this week we seen Death Row Records get bought by Hasbro, and it's funny, like I was seeing reactions to it, and it made me want to go read it, because people were like in an uproar. They were like, I can't believe that Hasbro with Peppa Pig bought Death Row Records. Like Death Row Records is still producing new Stoop and Tupac and Dre material, bro.
Petey Pablo, bro.
Yeah,
Petey Pablo's so active.
He's not on death row, bro. But like when you look at it, you see it for what it is. What they purchased was, they didn't purchase Death Row Records, a functioning record label. They purchased a catalog, and that catalog was a piece of a much larger catalog, and Death Row was the most salacious name to put next to Hasbro toys, and then boom, like you have a headline. It's the only thing that's interesting here is the consolidation of back catalogs. And while on one side of the industry you have a effort to sign as many new artists as possible, and not only sign as many new artists as possible, but now make it easy and accessible for independent artists to be able to upload their music in the commercial marketplace to put them next to the new signed artists. On the other side, you have a concerted effort to stack up as many catalogs as you possibly can. What do you make of that?
Which part of it? The
catalog buying.
Well, the fact that you can buy catalogs and combine them in basically estate sellouts is kind of whack to me. Um, because I'm not thinking of it as like a portfolio or assets. I'm thinking of it as music and music entertainment. And the fact that, Snoop Dogg and Tupac's discography can be lumped in with Peppa the Pig's merchandise is kind of crazy on the surface. But as to what you're saying, the people who are buying this stuff have a lot of money. And but what happens like if that's the norm, right? Like if you can catalog stuff and just buy a whole bunch of random stuff that you don't resonate with and own it and control it, or license it basically, or if you have a situation where you can treat songs like the stock market and buy stocks and dividends on Bodak Yellow's popularity, like if they're changing the music industry into a stock market essentially, I don't think technology is hurting the music industry. I think that dumbass shit being allowed to happen is killing the music industry, because you're not dealing with people who are physically or spiritually invested in the craft. They just see, all right, with this in my portfolio, this is how much tax breaks I get because I make way more money over here. So if I can hide my money behind a catalog acquisition, then I don't have to pay taxes on the thing that I'm pumping for real, and we can get into that another day. But, I'd be interested in finding out who the big guys are and where they make their real money from to acquire these things. And then people say, well, there's no connection, it's just kind of, caught up in the middle. I go, well, what has been these people's stances and policies on issues in the past? But we don't get that. The headlines don't include who. It doesn't name names.
Yeah, who's Hasbro lobbying? Who's their parent corporation? What type of guns are they buying in Africa? Type shit.
Yes. 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 So, who's burning down the Amazon forest to give soil to India so they don't starve to death? Let's talk about it.
The Amazon. The Amazon story, this bro, fucking hot takes abound around that one. I was talking to my girl, and I was asking her, talk to your mom, like what's like, because they're Brazilian. Her mom lives in Brazil. I'm like, what's going on over there? How do they see it? Like what's actually happening? Because in America we just look at it like we need to be driving electric cars and the Amazon won't be burning. Like the reason why the Amazon is on fire is because the ice cap is melting, right?
It's because people are retarded, bro. They literally said these fires were set.
Yeah. So what's happening over there is you've got like two types of farmer, right? You've got the farmer that owns like thousands and thousands of acres of jungle land, and or maybe just like a landowner, or you have corporations, like huge corporate farmers that'll own like millions and millions of acres. So the president that the Brazilians put in this past election, he was if you watched any type of what's it called, political shows, they called him Tropical Trump. He's very he's very brash, very brazen, and he effectively took off all of the environmental protections of the Amazon, and the big one was giving people the right to burn that land. And the reason why they burn the land is it's the fastest way to clear the land in order to turn it into something else. And when they go and burn the land, you can then make way for profitable things like soybean farming and or beef ranching, right? Which is which is huge, which is absolutely huge. So Brazil went through a period in the early 2000s where like they were the world's fifth largest economy. They had petroleum. They were doing the beef exports. You were seeing all the Texas Day Brazils pop up. The culture was spreading. They were becoming like a legitimate world power, and they've been in a crazy recession for a long time right now. And what I think is interesting with our social justice warriors on this side, in hip hop Twitter and something, is just like how low information we are when it comes to our hot takes. You know what I mean? Because I seen hot takes with like, yo, America should just be in charge of that. From regular people, like people in your tribe, to people who have their own talk shows,
Yeah.
and it's really weird. This is what I want to get into, because it ties into what we were talking about last week. But it's really weird to me, like the point in society that we are right now, where everybody has a passionate hot take, whether it be that Popeyes is exploiting black people to sell chicken sandwiches, or that driving trucks caused the Amazon to burn. You know what I mean? Like we're so quick to just jump and tell everybody whatever our knee-jerk programming response is to it. And I don't know, I've always not liked that, to put it mildly, because I enjoy thinking. It's fun, you know what I mean? It's like it's kind of like what me and you do live here, you bounce stuff off of somebody, and you come together with a greater truth. But what do you think the implications of that are? Moving forward into the next decade, and just for people in general, especially here.
I mean, I could take y'all deep into the river on this one. I haven't said nothing all week, really. Few people have asked me about it, but I went deep into the river. I got.
No. We'll do it live. Fuck it.
I got one better for you, and you already know what I'm about to say, but you probably haven't connected the dots yet.
Do it.
It's deep in the river.
Do it.
So okay, they're burning down the rainforest, right? So two things. I thought this one first, and I'll get into the river. Outside the river, India is having a very similar problem where their soil is not effective for growing crops. So India, one of the biggest populations on our planet, cannot sustain with its soil. It's like 0.5 organic content. So they're going to need new soil from somewhere. So put that in a box. Now, if we remember, a certain Joe Rogan podcast was two people, Bob Lazar and Graham Hancock. Two very important things that they said. First thing about the Amazon rainforest. It is a garden. It is not a rainforest. It was not naturally occurring. There's millions of people prior to the Spaniards' brutality of those people and native black people of South America. There's up to 30 million people there who had their own agriculture skill set. And what they did was they made a type of charred soil that allowed them to grow anything and everything they want. So when you look at the Amazon rainforest, you're looking at someone's backyard garden. You're not looking at a naturally occurring forest. Because that's the question that all of these ancient alien theorists have. How do these people feed themselves? And during that time, hundreds of years removed. That's because they were agricultural experts and they figured out how to make their own type of black clay. So whatever, that's alchemy. That's an old science that they'll never teach us. But India over there needs some kind of soil from a place that figured it out. So hold that. Another thing that was quite curious on the Joe Rogan podcast was when he was talking to Bob Lazar and Graham Hancock. They both kind of hinted at something called LiDAR. LiDAR is the ability to look at the bottom of something with lasers and to get a picture back. A lot of us are familiar with this with if you ever played video games like Black Ops, the dude with the pulse, he has a LiDAR system. So they're telling us that if you LiDAR the bottom of the Amazon, you see a lot of temples and structures there that you cannot access because it's in the middle of the rainforest. So if LiDAR revealed it, and these two guys were talking about the investigation of digging up stuff in the rainforest, but you can't get to it, well, the easiest way to get the things under the forest is to move the forest out of the way. And if we're moving things out of the way so we can go digging for 9 craft that were part of archaeological digs, what do you think they're looking for from a civilization 30 million strong that have no evidence of being left behind and figured out a way to grow crops in a place that used to be a desert? I wonder what's at the bottom there. So, depending on how far in that river you want to go, I know what it's about. It's multifaceted, of course, but I know what they're going to do with the soil. They're going to ship it to their brothers from the Indian East Tea Company. And then what they're going to do with whatever's left, once they figure out how to set up a few soy and cattle farms, they're going to be digging. And then we're going to have military intervention because they're going to find what they're looking for. So I guess people are sensing that America does have to do something about this. Because trust me, you, buddy, by the end of the summer, America's going to be there.
It's fun. That goes back to
Gaddafi, Saddam Hussein, all the temples they dug up right after they disappeared. Come on. Same story.
Oh man, that's bad times. That's bad times. So do you think the mechanism of it though, right?
Yeah.
Things like this are always interesting, right? Because I think like whenever we talk about this and guys just so we're clear from this point on, we're going fucking full 3 a.m. Because there is nothing to talk about in rap. I mean, like
no, they want you to talk about what you think of the albums.
Like Jeezy dropped the and fucking Rhapsody made a better album than Lil Brother, bro. Like, I don't need to fucking listen to songs about how you're bored in the club. Like, we go fuck, dog. at least Rhapsody's perspective is potent. At least Rhapsody is energetically saying something against the establishment. That's what I want to hear on those drums. I don't want to fucking hear about how you're
with
bored.
Drums produced by a white dude. Stay woke. But anyway, go ahead.
Nah, she got Knife Wonder beats on there.
That shit half the album's produced by a white guy who's killing it.
Yeah. I did not know that. His shit's good.
Oh yeah. You gotta, you know, there's levels to this, man. It depends. Do you need someone to take your hand through the river or not? That's all.
But the thing that always interests me when you get into talking about the bigger, like, oh, okay, so let's say we buy into, they're gonna ship soil out and they're gonna dig for craft, old, what I believe are old human craft, what most people believe are old alien craft, but talk about craft.
Same thing.
Same, right?
Same thing.
So you're talking about burning the forest, because I do remember them talking about the LiDAR and that shit just fascinated my mind. Because you've seen the pictures of like when they find a pyramid in the jungle and then they peel it back and you're like, yo, like it's so crazy, like how quick that the earth can overtake a stone structure. But that's what that's essentially what a mountain is. So what enabled this to happen was that president, right?
Mm-hmm.
So then you wonder. So the reason,
tropical Trump.
Yeah, tropical Trump. The reason why people,
Trump, the time traveler.
The reason why people, whenever you get to talk about things like this, the reason why a skeptic will be like, bro, there's no way that he knows and that she knows and then they'll keep it a secret. But I think the way that it works is you see somebody who is open to these type of ideas.
Yeah.
And if you have an interest in that, and you have enough money, like I'm not talking about like what we think rich people are, like not like the type of people who have a boat and a Maserati, but like the people who own the people who own infrastructure, right?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like the people who own mines and things like that, and they can lobby, and they can lobby to to get someone president because they know like, yo, this idiot is gonna lift the environmental rules that are going to allow us to then start a campaign to put it in these farmers' ears, because I think the farmers are real. Like I really believe that the farmers are doing this in an attempt to make money. Like I don't think that it's a whole bunch of that it's a whole bunch of super villains out there that are going around with blowtorches killing farmers and then being like, oh, we're gonna make it look like the farmers, we're gonna make money.
I mean, they got jets that just got to send a few microwaves from the sky and it's a wrap, bro. We seen those all through California.
Yeah, I don't think they do it like that, bro. I think these idiots really use people to do it.
No,
You
you
know,
use people for the cover story. You don't actually need the people to start the fires. You can't start a fire in the rainforest. That's the whole point. That's why it's absurd. You need something a little bit hotter than what your local farmer's using.
I don't think so. They've been doing that.
Microwave.
They've been doing
At that level, yes, you do.
they've been doing that shit for years, bro. That's like that.
At the scale it's on, bro, you think they could scale it like that naturally?
I don't know what the scale is on, honestly. I do not.
19 days, it's going to be gone by the summer.
Yeah, I don't know. What is it? What is it?
The rainforest, bro. Whatever they found under that rainforest ain't got shit to do with shit. Like you said, you're talking about the cover story.
You're talking,
all right, so listen,
you're talking
how do
about
we get
the entire
involved?
rainforest gone. It's like that rainforest is as big as a few states, bro. Like,
How big is the fire, CMP?
I don't know. I don't
Look
know.
at-
I honestly haven't looked at it that deep.
Come on. If America is saying to Brazil, if you need our help, we'll help you put it out. If it was a problem, if they wanted to put it out, do you think they'd be waiting for help? Do you think they'd be doing GoFundMes and donations if they needed to put it out? If they were concerned about the lungs of the planet, the artificial lungs of the planet, by the way, so they're prosthetic lungs, by the way, because it wasn't always there. So it wasn't always the lungs of the planet, because we know 30 million people built that for us. But anyway, if they're worrying about it, you think they wait a month and a half, 2 months, 3 months, 4 months, 5 months before they decide to send people who are professionally trained to stop the fire in a rainforest?
No,
That can't be stopped by the rain after 20 days. Come on, bro.
No, of course.
You think it's burning leaves is doing that? You think the mangoes are just spontaneously bursting continuously? You think the farmer's gonna wake up every morning and reset the fire after it burns out? You know how fires work, bro. In the rain, they ain't regular chemicals and materials, bro. So you can't tell me the farmer who needs to make steak sandwiches has the resources to put this on fire like that continuously.
No,
That's all I'm saying.
I think I think that sometimes, like, when it comes to things like this that, you know, that we haven't done or that we haven't seen, it's a lot easier for us to put put a technology that we haven't seen or that we're not familiar with to it to kind of simplify it to make our point.
Have you ever tried to light a wet cigarette, CMB?
Yes, I've tried to light a wet cigarette. It doesn't happen.
I know.
But me and you are not not in the rainforest right now. Like for example, Florida burns. Florida has a very similar climate to Brazil. Like the Everglades burns every single year when you have it.
For a month?
It's based off of El Nino and La Nina, right? So you have these two water currents. It influences the hurricane and stuff like that. And when we have La Nina years, every day for like 3 or 4 weeks, the Everglades will burn. Like, you'll come outside if you live out west close to it, and you'll have ashes on your car every day. It'll look like snow. So that's why I've seen and we're talking about the Everglades. Like, the Everglades does not have a soil floor. It's water. It's a swampland. So they and I mean that shit was going on from the 80s. So I mean, we're talking about, like, they use the microwaves to burn the Everglades.
How old are microwaves?
No, but I mean, we're taking every wildfire from this point on, and we're putting microwaves on it. Like, that's my thing.
With this much to gain, and every government that's going to be involved, I wouldn't put it in no farmer's hands.
I would. I absolutely would, because
I'll blame it on them, but I wouldn't count on them to light a few Marlboros and toss it and think it's going to do what I needed to do.
No, dude, this is
widespread.
No, this is a science. Like controlled burns. This is what people do. Like that's
natural. They'll watch it.
That's what I'm saying.
Like,
like, these guys, they are fucking. They know how to do it. It's not just like it's not just like a random.
The
we're gonna throw a couple matches
that are there. Would be the farmers.
The who?
The native Aborigines, the native Amazon tribes, as they call them, would be those farmers.
Or the corporate
they
farmers.
Are not. Wait, hold on.
Or the corporate farmers, because you have them.
Okay, there we go. Now, if you move that ball, we know it's not the native Aborigine ones. We know it's not them, because they wouldn't burn that much for us. So if it's the corporate farmers, who funds a corporate farmer? The government. Who has microwaves? The government. You don't need no motherfucking matches, CMB. You said it would be the CIA that did it. I'm saying the CIA are farmers. The CIA is everybody. The CIA has 3 jobs.
Common sense.
CIA could be in the Navy. CIA could be there. Come on, you act like you don't play Black Ops no more, bro. You act like you don't see the descriptions. The corporate farmers. you just described the CIA, bro.
This shit is not. This shit is Kraft and Nabisco and fucking ConAgra Foods and them dudes.
That's why I said what I said about the companies acquiring Death Row. You would want to know which government agency owns the stocks on all those companies.
Yeah, facts.
Just our music industry is all CIA children, especially on the rock side. Why do we forget that? Like the brother Ronnie just said, you know, Dave Chappelle just visited South Carolina and did this thing, and his grandfather was the president of the school he went to. Like, you know, and all these rock stars, all their dads are CIA. Barack Obama's mom was CIA. Come on, like, I don't know. Like once you know that, and once the CIA agent go on Joe Rogan, same thing. He told us before it happened. Oh, you guys have no idea how much technology came from what we do in DARPA and everything else. Why do we think these government agencies that can lose $1 trillion don't own companies? Come on. They ain't getting the money from our taxes. We don't even, like, our working class that pays taxes don't even make enough money to pay those kind of taxes. So if they're getting the taxes from billionaires own corporations, who do you think our government agencies own? The billionaires. Come on, bro. That's why these billionaires are disappearing right now. It's all together. It's not like it's not a spot map where you can just look at one thing and be like, you know, this is fuck shit. You know, they're greedy. They want to grow briskets and send them to Salt Bay for a check, my nigga. We're talking about LiDAR. We're talking about ancient civilizations. We're talking about infrastructure. No, I'm sorry, bro. Brazil, after Venezuela and what they just went through with communism, Brazil's not picking their own president, bro. I'm sorry. That just doesn't seem like that's part of their script. That's all I'm saying. I don't know the who's yet, but if we have military intervention in South America, just mark this podcast.
Wait. Dude, I'm looking at a map of South America.
Mm-hmm.
Of the fires in the Amazon in the past 48 hours.
Yeah.
So there's like from by the river. All right. So by the river in the main basin in the low parts where it's actually wet, there are no fires, right? The majority of them are happening when the elevation gets a little higher, all throughout the south of Brazil. And that shit is just marked up, right?
Mm-hmm.
But it's not just Brazil. Like it's also Colombia.
Mm-hmm.
It's also Peru.
Mm-hmm. And we know Peru's magical.
And it's also Brazil, dude. I mean, it's also Bolivia too.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yep. Gentrification on crack.
Dude, bro, this shit's like high key nuts.
And they don't need help though. Come on, bro. They nuts. They're nutty. Mm.
The number of fires. They burn every year though. They normally they normally do like 50,000 fires every year. And right now they're at 70,000 fires. So they got 20,000 more fires than they normally have every year. See, I knew the motherfuckers were burning every year.
Mm-hmm.
That's nuts. Fucking Eduardo says, "Hold on, guys. Talk about, is trap music still the wave?" What I think is interesting about the whole trap music thing, right? You got different camps, right? So you got the camp that is trying to figure out what type of beats they should make for their beat store, which you guys are the fucking most annoying people in the world. I just wish you would make the beats that you like, and and set up a good email marketing list and sell your beats and stop acting like the kind of beats that you make means any difference. I mean, fucking Anno Domini made like $1 bajillion on selling Anno Domini type beats, on selling like fucking orchestral Eminem's sounding beats, bro. Made more money than all them dudes.
He's the whole reason why Machine Gun Kelly exists.
Dude, that guy made a killing selling fucking Cymbal Crash type beats, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Like, do you remember the Anno Domini type beats? The like,
yeah, it was the Struggle Just Blaze arrangements.
Yeah, dog.
I remember them. They're in every NBA edited video on YouTube.
Yeah,
like,
dude, that guy made a bajillion zillion dollars, and people were like, "Oh man, when trap isn't the wave anymore, I'm finally gonna get these boom bap drums off." Like, if you don't get you a fucking CRM system, Jesus Christ, bro, get your shit together. But so you have that camp, right? Which is weird. Then you have like the older guys who were like now all those young trap producers who can only make trap beats, everybody's gonna see how terrible they are at making music because I finally have my time to make my graph type beats again. And
Use your common sense. Y'all just don't want to believe the truth.
I'm lying. Yeah, dude, because Graph was gonna bring the East Coast back with Saigon, bro.
So was Immortal Technique, man.
Remember, dude, it was gonna be Graph, Saigon, and then we'll never have to hear another South record again, bro. And then Young Jeezy came through with the organ slides and shut all that shit up, bro.
Yes.
And then Saigon got on fucking Entourage, and that was it, bro.
That was Joe Budden's fault too, by the way.
That was Joe Budden's fault. That's one day we're gonna have to have a serious conversation about Joe Budden's negative effect on hip hop, bro.
That's a deep dive.
That's a super deep dive. I need like a whole different docket for that. But my thing about the whole is trap going to be as popular, because I don't look at it as like, is trap gonna die or anything. Like, it's just like, is trap gonna be as popular in the 2020s as it was in the 2010s? And the answer is no, because decades change. You get a whole different generation of kids, and you have one thing you have is you have the decade cyclical programming, right? Mm-hmm. Which is, for 10 years we wear skinny pants, for 10 years we wear baggy pants, for 10 years we wear short shorts, for the next 10 years we wear fucking long shorts, for 10 years we wear short socks, for the next 10 years we wear long socks, for 10 years we wear high tops, for 10 years we wear low tops. Like, that shit is painfully predictable once you get into, like, once you're looking at your fourth decade of life. You could pretty much see it coming. But it's not anything for producers to get super excited about if you're older, thinking that it's going to be your chance to do what you didn't do in the decade that you wanted to do it. I think that's very important for you to kind of have the perspective on. What do you think about that? Because I feel like that's where a lot of that energy is coming from.
I think we're still operating out of a lie that we've taught ourselves. Like, this is the Santa Claus spell. And what I mean is, I'll speak for myself. Like, I used to be able to see it that way, right? Like, I could tell by what songs were coming out on a particular date what the next season would sound like on our level. So basically what was happening is that artists, closer to when artists used to rap on industry beats, it was super clear, because if all of a sudden someone like Fiend or someone like that did a whole project on that Piff with the Just Blaze instrumentals, you'll know that all the other artists in his tier and lower are going to try to do that or mimic that. So I would just make the Kanye West type beats and Just Blaze type beats, and then I'd plug it in front of them or boost them on SoundCloud. And you'll see downloads and things as a result of that because everyone's kind of into it. Like, oh, I like this project a lot. I like those beats a lot. I like those instrumentals a lot. Boom. I need more of that. I need my own of that. I need original of that. And then like, something like, Dr. Dre's project's about to come out, Detox, the few year runs that we heard about that. Then people real quick in their West Coast G-Funk bag. Like, it used to be so much clearer when the genres were that defined regionally, culturally. You could tell just by the artists that you're promoting yourselves to or surrounding yourselves with, especially with social media back then. You weren't pumped with a whole bunch of nobodies. You only saw who you followed, first of all. So your ability to go into the river and look at the language and listen to people was much more fine-tuned and precise. Now, 20 years removed to this point, where we're kind of just inundated with a little bit of everything from everybody in the middle tone-ish trap, you don't have the same kind of thing no more, because if you make a trap beat tomorrow, you're not ahead of the curve or behind the curve. You're just in the middle. You're just making trap beats. So the type of beat you make almost doesn't really matter. And especially now, it doesn't really matter because you betting on the future means nothing still.
Right.
So if producers aren't in front of rappers who are copying other rappers, then you can't exploit the marketplace the same way. The way that we've been exploiting the marketplace in the past 5 years or more is by paying for fake views. And we've did a whole season on this. And I think this is where the disconnect is happening. Because the people that you think are good were using fake views, you never really seen them do good. Like, you never seen them get better. You never seen them had to adjust the climate. You never seen them had to, like, keep up, compete, strengthen any skills. They just put out what they want to put out and put the money behind it. So they got a certain amount of followers and energy that people just bought into it, and it kept it propelling for a while. And now that's dying off. All those people, we don't even talk about them anymore. Their names don't come up no more. Because now they're back into the, dang, I can't game the system no more. What should I make? Because all the shit I've been making and sending to my mailing list, I used to sell it, but now I'm not selling it no more. So obviously the taste of the listener has changed. And that's not true either. The listener never cared, bro. You're emailing Russian bots. The people who bought your beats, they just don't exist no more. So now, you fall into the curse of producer candy, as they call it. You're producing for producers now. And it's a sick, vicious cycle. And it's sad because producers really don't buy beats either. So I think the system collapsed on itself. That's all. And, whatever the next genre is, it's not going to matter anyway. And I want to say it out loud anyway, because by the time I turn around, Cymatic's is going to be flipping it on the gold NPC on Instagram. So why would I say it?
I thought we were going to do that.
I'm saying. Mess around and get an email talking about this is the next wave. Oh, well,
listen,
God. RC20 in the background and shit.
A channel of your size isn't qualified to make those distinctions.
A mother that his mom's size isn't qualified to give birth to him. But people are doing it.
People are doing it. Modern DNA got that one.
Oh.
Yo. Yeah, man, but I think that's the most important takeaway. Just to kind of reinforce what you said is you guys that like look at trap as like, if I can just hang on long enough until trap isn't popular, then this thing that I do that isn't trap, it'll be easier for me to get off. Like, nah, bro, like it would be easier for you to get that off if you got up off your ass and just got on your business. Like, straight up, like we're looking at we just had an Instagram run of signing day with a 34-year-old man, right, who makes 8-song projects, okay, who's signing to Rock Nation, and all he talks about is selling coke.
Yes.
That's it. The same type of music that people make fun of Pusha T for making, You know what I mean? Like this is somebody that Jay-Z decided to invest money in and said, "Yo, this is the next shit that we need to hear." Right after Jermaine Dupri came out and said no record label is signing anybody who isn't over 20 years old. You know what I mean? 34 years old. It's broken, guys. It's completely broken. Like all those little pussy ass roadblocks that you put up in front of yourself that you said like, "Oh, well, you know, I can't do it because this isn't going my way, or I can't do this." Like, no, bro, that's soft shit. Like, bro, somebody from Buffalo, dude, like the Great Lakes. There's nothing cool out there. Fucking just worked and made a wave. And that's the whole thing that we've been telling you guys this, you know, ever since we had, you know, channels before we even linked up was just like, yo, work and build your shit.
I think no one explains how to do that, bro. I know where the confusion comes from. The confusion also comes from the people who have capitalized off of selling people the dream. Because, like, you know, like when certain people with the whiteboard point to the people who are faking their numbers as an example, that data is skewed.
Use your common sense.
Like, no one's ever cleaned it up. No one's really cleaned it up. Like us saying it sounds strange. And then soon people will make courses on the cleanup. I already see that coming.
That's happening.
Yeah, so like people are doing the cleanup courses, and it's going to be the same people that sold you the dirt to begin with. But whatever. I don't even care no more. But the reality of the situation is there's only two types of people who are successful. The people who have something, as Cliff High told us the other day, a novelty item that they're exceptional at, or the people who game the system. That's it. And when you think about that, if you're gaming the system, you can put your money behind anything that you believe in. And most people who put money behind themselves, they just say they believe in themselves. They don't even talk about the art. So we understand why there's a high ramp and a steep cliff that they fall off of. But they learned, and you know, they got what they got out of it. And then you got the people on the other side who are stubborn, for lack of better words, and they just make what they make. And then, you know, we hear rumors of them working with certain artists, and they have their one-off time to shine, show the world their art, and then they move on and do whatever they want to do. Both of them end and begin the same exact way. Either you got a lot of money pumping in up front for the fake views and numbers and the blogs and the conversations and retweets, or you're just so sonically in tune with yourself and different than everyone else that the right person hears it. But I'm telling you, both of those mechanisms are the same thing. It goes back into your mind and spirit. And there's no course for that. And that's why there's no way to build a mailing list of 10,000 people and send the perfect message with the perfect image and you guaranteed 1% retention in sales. That will not work for most people. And the question is why? And it's the same reason why people are scared to retweet your stuff, or the same reason why people are scared to make a post for you. They think that, you know, by putting you on, that is going to bring in this crazy value for you versus their own content. And that's not true either, because that's not the way it actually works. It's a spiritual thing. Basically, when I use the word spiritual, I mean it's an unspoken thing. It's a thing that we do not have the words for. But the one thing that's in common with all the people who don't have words for it is the amount of effort and time that they put focusing on doing something. It's not the actual thing they're focused on. It's the energy behind the thing they're focused on. It's you're not selling beats, bro. Like that's the thing. We never were. We got caught up in this game because of the courses and the nudges and the conversations and the interviews and the talking points. But in reality, like all of the progress that you'll see someone make is because they have such an intense focus on going forward with something. And maybe we need to start measuring that energy. Maybe we need to start measuring the intent. Maybe we need to start measuring the non-measurables, and then you'll see it work for you. I'm close to being able to put some words to it, but man, it doesn't matter what people are doing, bro. All the music coming out is whack. It doesn't matter what people are doing. Everything's starting to sound the same on Splice. It doesn't matter what people are doing. All the VSTs sound the same, man. It's just another simple Dream piano. It's 10 years old, and it's in 20 more plugins now. Like, who cares, bro? Like, do you have access to the tools and resources that you need to make your ideas come true? Should be the only thing you're focused on and care about. Anything outside of that little box, man, it's a dummy mission. You're spending our energy making other people hot. Fuck them.
And with that, I would like to tell you all to keep it simple, but do not be basic. And we will see you on the next one.
Hey, it's MG. You know what I'm about. Peace.